In this video series, we will look at the message of Krishna in his book, the Bhagavad Gita. The video series has been divided into 10 lessons. In the first lesson, we will look at the quality of a person who is searching for light. In the second lesson, we will look at 3 types of people who are driven by 3 types of energies. In the third lesson, we will look at the qualities of a person who is driven towards light. In the fourth video, we will look at qualities of a person who stays in darkness. Then the next 4 chapters are talking about the path towards light. The 5th chapter will talk about the path of knowledge. The 6th chapter we will talk about the path of action. In the 7th chapter we will talk about the path of meditation. And in the 8th chapter we will talk about the path of devotion. In the 9th chapter we will talk about the qualities of a person who is in golden light. And the 10th chapter is the summary of this entire video series. Chapter 1: The Search. One individual among many thousands seeks the path of light, but only few reach the goal and come to realize the light. Chapter 7, verse 3. Krishna, Christ, Buddha, Muhammad all have one thing in common. They have millions of followers, even though none of them have ever met these individuals in person. If the history is correct, and these individuals are not a myth, then they all were here on earth before 500 AD. But people still remember them generations after generations. Why? What is so special about these individuals? Why does humanity consider them as gods? One thing seems to be common when we read the books that carry their teachings. Each of them seems to have discovered a higher truth or higher energy. We will call this energy in our video series as golden light. The society today celebrates the success and fame of the business and political leaders. But then how many such leaders we remember from the 1700s or 1600s? I guess none. Most of us do not even remember our great-grandfather's name. What can we learn from these awakened individuals of the past? How can we apply in our daily life the lessons they taught us? This video series is an attempt to help the seeker in all of us, to help tap into the high energies that lie dormant within us. The energies discovered by Krishna and described in his teachings in the book, the Bhagavad Gita. We all have come across many business leaders, both men and women, who have achieved great fame, money and power, but still they are anxious. We have come across many women who have achieved perfect marriage, children, in-laws, and yet they are finding a void inside them. They say that they have a hollow feeling inside them, and they do not understand why they have this feeling. They do not seem to understand what is lacking, as whatever they aspired for as a child or as an adolescent, they have achieved. Bhagavad Gita is perfect for such a seeker. It is a dialogue between Krishna the teacher and Arjun the student. Arjun, the student who is finding futility in everything. He is sad, depressed and dejected. He no longer seeks power, fame and money. He only wants peace of mind. The writers of the past used powerful kings like Krishna and Arjun as characters in their books to convey ethics and morals to the general masses. These ethics and moral code was known as dharma, or righteous way to live and perform action. In the past, kingdoms with its kings and queens were the most dominant system. Then in the last century, nations with its head became the most dominant system. Now, in the present century, corporations with its CEOs and CXOs are the most dominant system. These CEOs have all the wealth, power and fame. Some corporations are bigger than countries' GDPs. If we compare the past and the present, we can draw similarities. In the past, kings ruled, now the CEOs rule. The kings like Arjun had advisors, and now the CEOs have board of directors. Then the kings ruled through the ministers and nobles, and now the CEOs rule through their CXOs and vice presidents. Arjun must have fought thousands of battles. In one such battle, one of the key battles of his life, he felt fatigued from his constant battle. He lost the energy to fight, and that is when he surrendered to his advisor Krishna and said, "Please show me the way." When Arjun surrendered, then Krishna smilingly said, "One individual among thousands seeks the path of light, and only few reach the goal and come to realize the light." Four kinds of individuals seek the path of light: ones who are suffering, ones who are seeking knowledge, ones who are seeking wealth, and the ones who are wise. Chapter 7, verse 16. Most of humanity seeks light in distress. The distress could be mental, emotional, or physical. Distress is like visiting card of the divine light. It reminds us of the temporary nature of our earthly life. It enables us to search for light. When a loved one is in a hospital or when we are in financial distress, we become humble. But when the distress is over, we forget the path of light again, and we go on to living selfish lives till the next time the distress call is received in our heart. The second category of seeker is the curious one. This person tries every new thing in town: a new restaurant, a new fashion statement. They constantly seek a new high. They constantly ask questions and challenge the norm. At some point in their life, they get tired of trying new things and start searching for the highest high. The third category of seeker is the seeker of wealth. Wealth today is seen in the form of money, power, and fame. Many individuals reach a point where wealth is no more giving them happiness. They start recognizing that they are here on earth for a short time and start asking the meaning of life. The fourth category is the wise one. This person is a sage. He or she stands out from the previous three. This person is rarest of rare. They see oneness in everything. Arjun asks Krishna, "What happens to an individual who has faith, who in the beginning follows the path of light, but due to lack of self control and worldly mindedness, moves away from the path of light and loses its way?" In chapter 6, verse 37. Krishna's answer: spiritual work will never be waste, neither in this world nor hereafter. One who does such a work ever come to grief. There is no destruction for the ones who walk the path of light. When such people die, they go to other realms where pious living entities live. After many everlasting long years of enjoyment, they are reborn on earth into a family of pure and prosperous, or into a family of vice. To be born in such a family is extremely rare. On taking such a birth, the wisdom they have acquired in their previous lives will be reawakened. They automatically get attracted to the path of light, even without seeking it. Through constant effort over many lifetimes, they overcome all their selfish desires and eventually attain the highest goal. Chapter 6, verse 40 to 45. The one I love is friendly and compassionate to all. He is incapable of ill will and returns love for hatred. He does not think himself as a proprietor and lives beyond the reach of I and mine. He remains balanced in pleasure and pain, tolerant, contented, self-controlled, firm in faith, with heart, mind, and intellect focus on light. With such a one, I am in love. Chapter 12, verse 13 and 14.